You're in a cage of your own design, with the door wide open. The problem is that walking through that open door is scary, full of change, full of unknowns, full of things that feel daunting and something that you're unqualified for because, well, hell, you don't know how to handle that moment. It's why so often we stay in situations we don't like, doing things that we don't want to do, and things that we know we are capable of changing. And instead we repeat them over and over and over again. Because, well, at least it's known. It might not be fun, it might not be comfortable, it might not be what we want it to be, but it is a known entity. And more often than not, we will stay in a known hell than chase an unknown heaven. And this is why most people stay stuck. This is why most people will never change. They'll never reach their goals. They'll never do anything in their life of value because it is easier and simpler and quote unquote safer to continue doing the same thing. And we're in prisons of our own minds, of our own creation. It's like that elephant that is chained to a chair. That elephant is strong, it is capable, it could rip that chair and toss it across the room. But because from the get-go, from being small, it was chained up and couldn't break free, it now believes that it's stuck. And we are the same. And we must break free of our own prisons, these prisons of our own creation. We must make decisions that are geared towards the things we want. Because remember, in life, you don't get what you want. You don't get what you need. You don't get what you desire. You get what you are willing to tolerate. As I said before, most of the time what we are willing to tolerate is what we already know. We'd rather stay stuck in this moment of discomfort and unhappiness, but we know what it is. Most people are afraid of success. They are afraid of actually achieving everything they want because it's unknown. There's something in your mind, in your subconscious, in your programming, that tells you that it isn't safe because you haven't been there before. But like in everything you've ever done in life, there is at one point where you hadn't done it before. And you learnt this skill of quitting, of it being too difficult, of it being too hard to continue to try. Because when you're a baby, when you're learning to walk and things, you don't give up. You bang your head on the table and KO yourself. You do all these stupid things. And you don't go, oh, no, that's difficult. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go try new things. Your whole world is a exciting new world to try things. And somewhere along the line, you were taught fear. You were taught to be afraid. You were taught to play it safe. Stick to the things you know. Do not put yourself outside the comfort zone. And for as long as you allow yourself to stay trapped in that, well, you're just going to be a hamster on a wheel, just going round and round and round and round and round. You have to make those first decisions. You have to make those first choices and do something different. But here's the one that often, and myself included, I will put my hand up and be the first to admit, is what's the worst that could happen? So you try, you put yourself out there, you attempt to lose the weight, to get into shape, to do the work, to build the business, whatever it might be. You put yourself out there, and what if it fails? What if it all goes wrong? What if it doesn't work out? What have you actually lost? Some time? Maybe some money? A bit of effort? You end up in exactly the same place. but at least you had a crack at it. Makes me think of those stupid betting ads. What is it? Ladbrokes, I think it is, the take a crack. But, we're not talking gambling, we're talking about your life here. We're talking about leading your best life. But at least you had a go. At least you showed up and know that you had an attempt. And I think there's way more in the attempt. As I've said many times before, the only way to fail is to quit. If you keep showing up with enough effort, intensity, and consistency, you will succeed on a long enough timeline. Don't want it to be an extensively long timeline? Get assistance, get help, get guidance to shortcut you to the results. It's the point of a coach. But you don't have to have that. You can just do it by showing up and giving those things. Effort, intensity, consistency. The keys to the kingdom, right there. But it looks a lot like hard work. What is it? Everybody wants to be lucky, but when they get lucky, it is often disguised as hard work. You have to give effort. You have to do it. You have to show the fuck up and do the work. And yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to require you doing things that you don't want to do, that you don't enjoy. But over time, you'll learn to appreciate them. You'll learn to appreciate the results that come from doing the work. Yeah, I work out every single day. Every day, no matter what, I work out. And yeah, I think there is a lot to be said for actually training every day, because most people don't actually ever train hard enough to warrant needing rest days and time off and all that kind of stuff. That's not what I'm here to argue about today. More of the point for me is that it's about the mental game. I work out every day to fight away my demons. I work out every day to build the momentum to continue moving forward. I work out every day so I don't give myself an option to quit, to start again, to try and rebuild the habit. I've been there. I've been on that slippery slope. I've slid all the way back. It is a horrendous fucking feeling. You know my story. You know, it was the height of hypocrisy. I was 30 kilos overweight running a personal training transformation gym. It doesn't get much more hypocritical than that. And that came from, A, believing my own hype, buying into my own bullshit, but also because the habits kept slipping backwards, that I kept letting it slide away, that I couldn't follow through and I couldn't commit. But we are in this cage that we build for ourselves. And, you know, not only is it a cage, but we build up our own propaganda around that cage as to why we must do it, why we must stay in this cage, to protect ourselves, to protect others, to keep ourselves safe. Because what if we fail? Cool. What if you fail? What does that mean? What have you built that up to mean about yourself? What stories are you telling yourself about failing? Because I can guarantee you it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. It comes back to that concept of life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond to it. Cool. You had a crack. You tried to get into phenomenal fucking shape. You did the work. You invested time, money, effort, and it didn't work. It doesn't mean it's not right for you. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean any of these things. Only if you quit does it make you a failure. If you go, well, that route didn't work, try again, try a different one, try a different method, hire someone, pay someone, get accountability, get support, get guidance, get the perfect plan, get something custom built for you. Do these things and try again and keep trying till you succeed. Because we all know, despite what people want to say, despite what they want to talk about, that not only do we want to be in great fucking shape, but we need to be. That it will dictate all the other areas of your life. It'll improve all the other areas of your life. It will create that halo effect into everything else you do in life. It's not only nice, it is a fucking requirement. And I've said this before, especially if you are a father. Especially if you're a father. It is your honor, duty, and obligation to be in the best shape you can be. So that you can play with your kids, so that you can do anything your children want, so that you can set a prime example, so that you can lead them to the healthiest and best possible life. It stems from you. And it's not do as I say, not as I do. You have to do it. Because it is monkey see, monkey do. You need to lead by example. You need to be doing the work. You need to be the greatest version of yourself you can be. And that starts with getting into great shape. It starts with building great habits. It starts with doing the work. And people neglect their health and their fitness all the time. They put it aside and focus on other things. But the second you start neglecting your health and fitness, I can promise you all the other areas will suffer. All the other areas will not be as good as they could and should be. You say that you don't want to be selfish and block out time to work out for your family because you're devoting that time to you. And I 100% understand it and respect it. But it is the most selfless thing to be in great fucking shape. It is, as I said, a duty, an honor, an obligation. It's not a nicety. It is a requirement. Your children, your wife, all those who love and adore you, who believe in you and who support you, need you to be in great shape. It is a necessity, and you must figure it out. Hell, if you're calling it family time, calling that you don't have time, include them. My kids love working out with me. I think it's fantastic. I've given them their own little weights. They do their own little things. Make it normal. Make it part of it. Include them. Teach them that being in great shape, being healthy, looking after your health and fitness isn't this weird thing. It is normal. It is just a part of being alive, is making sure that you are in the greatest health possible. You need to break free of this cage that you've built for yourself. The door is wide open. All you have to do is make a decision. Make a clear, conscious decision and walk through that door. Everything you want is on the other side of making that decision. You're the one holding the keys. You're the one who's in control. But everything in your life will get better, and everything in your family's life will get better once you make that decision. So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to step in and be the man that you know you should be, and you know you can be, click the link in my bio, shoot me a message, and let's make it a reality. I will handhold you, and I will make sure that you are held to the flames, you do the work, and you achieve the results that you need and deserve. But it's time to stop settling and stop tolerating this life that you don't want, and time to step into being the man that you know you should be. And I can't wait to see you there.